Standard 6th History. Chapter number 2 Sources of History. Now, children, tell me what are the sources of water? That means, from where do we get water? So, your answer will be that we get water from rain, rivers, lakes, dams, etc. So, these are the examples of the sources of water. Same way, we have sources of history, which we are going to learn today. Now, children, I would like you to ask a question which you will be writing in your notebook. You might have seen various things which belong to your grandparents. Name them. I can give you one example. You might have seen the ancient copper vessels which were used by your grandparents. They still use it. This tells us about the past, that they would use copper vessels during their time. So now it has become history. That means past. Because today we are not using copper vessels. Instead of it, we are using steel vessels. Sources of history. There are three types of sources of history. First one is material sources, second is written sources, and third is oral sources. A number of objects which are used by our ancestors means fathers, they are called as ancestors. So a number of objects which are used by ancestors, they still exist. Today when we find them due to excavations, when there is any archaeological excavations, we find such objects. Sources like these help us to understand our history. We can also learn history through customs, tradition, folk arts, folk literature and historical documents. Now, customs and traditions. Whatever customs and traditions were followed by your ancestors, today you are also following. So that is coming from past. So whatever customs and traditions our ancestors used to follow, that we are following today. So due to this we come to know what festivals were being celebrated by them. What festivals were being celebrated by our ancestors. So these are all known as sources of history. There are three sources, as I told you, material, written and oral. The first one is material. Now what is material? Material means a solid object. The first one is a material sources. What are the examples? Forts, coins, stupas, artifacts. Now what is artifacts? Artifacts means the things which we use in a day-to-day life. So when we find such artifacts, we come to know that what artifacts were being used by our ancestors. And this tells us about the history. We can also see about the forts. Forts also, when you go to any fort, you can see the way they have constructed the fort, the materials which they have used. These all things tell you about the past. That what kind of houses they would stay, how they would be planning the battles or war, how they would use the weapons. When you go on a fort, you come to know. Then the coins, even on the coins you can see the name of the government. During those days you can see the coins were being minted by if you see any coin of the olden days, you can see that some picture is being minted on the coin. Looking at that picture, you come to know about the people, those who belong to those age or those time. Material sources, coins. You can see the coins of Gupta Empire. We can decide the period of ancient artifacts, like for example, earthen pots, by studying the shape, color and design. We can come to know about the social interaction between the people due to the ornaments which are found in excavation. The diet of the people is also being known from the remains of the food grains found in the excavation. The remains of houses and buildings tells us about the historical period, different historical periods. All this give us information about the human activities in the past. All such artifacts, articles, monuments and their ruins These all are called as material sources of history.
Do you know? Food grains do not last long. They get easily infested and turn into powder. In ancient times, people used to roast food grain before grinding them. If a few grains got charred while roasting, they were thrown away. Such charred grains can remain intact for a very long period. During excavation, such charred grains can be recovered. When these are inspected in a laboratory, we come to know what grain it is. So children, such charred grains were being found in excavation because during those days they would grind these grains on a device which was made up of stone. You know it, in Marathi it is called as zata. So there were two stones. In between them they used to put the grains, and because of those two stones, when the grains they come in between those two grains, when they are rotating that particular stone, the stone which is on the upper side, when they rotate that stone, the grains which come in between them get grinded and turn into powder. Do you know? Written sources of history include inscriptions carved on temple walls. Here you can see the picture of the Hoysaleshwara temple, and here you can see the beautiful carvings which are being carved on the walls. Here you could see the inscription on the temple wall which is at Halebid. Walls of rock-cut caves and rocks, inscription on copper plates, pots, bricks, and on writing sheets made from palm leaves and birch bark, etc. Here you can see the picture of the birch tree. This is the Bhurja Patra, which is made from the birch tree. Basically, the birch trees are found in Kashmir. Sources. The Stone Age people have recorded many events and expressed their emotions in paintings on rocks. It was only after thousands of years that man learned the art of writing. In the beginning, humans used symbols and signs to record their thoughts and ideas. However, it took thousands of years for a script to develop from this. In the beginning, man wrote on potsherds, unbaked bricks using pointed objects. He also used birch, that is Bhurja tree, bark to write on. As his experience and knowledge increased, he began to write in different ways. He began to record the events that took place around him. Accounts of the proceedings of the royal courts were also written systematically. Many rulers had their orders, judicial decisions, donations, etc. inscribed on stone or copper plates. Over a period of time, many forms of literature developed. They included books on religious and social subjects, plays, poetry, travelogues, and scientific work. All this literature helps us to understand the history of the various historical periods. These sources are known as the written sources of history. Oral sources. Ovies, folk songs, folk tales, and similar literature is passed on from generation to generation by word of mouth. This literature is not in the written form. Its authors are unknown. This type of literature, preserved by oral tradition, forms the oral source. Do you know an Ovi? Padurunga Pita Rukmini Maji Baya Ashad Variyela Pundalik Ala Nyaya. Lines from a folk song. महानगरी उजनी लई पुण्यवान दानी तेथे नांदत होता राजा सुखी होती प्रजा तिन्ही लोकी गाजा वाजा असा उजनीचा इक्रम राजा. Do you know? Sources of ancient history. Material sources. Artifacts. Rock paintings, pottery, terracotta objects, beads, ornaments, sculptures, metal objects, coins, weapons. The second one is structural remains. Caves, houses, stupas, rock-cut caves, temples, churches, mosques, and pillars. The second type of source is written sources. Inscription on Harappan seals, Vedic literature, Mesopotamian clay tablets, manuscript copies of Mahabharata and Ramayana, Jain and Buddhist literature, writings of Greek historians, travelogues by Chinese travelers, and books on grammar, Puranas, and inscription. These are all written sources. The third source is oral sources. The Vedic, Buddhist, and Jain literature of ancient India was preserved by oral tradition. It is now available in the written form. Even so, the oral tradition is still alive. When oral compositions are used for history writing, they are included in the oral sources of ancient Indian history. The ancient period of Indian history extends from the Stone Age to the 8th century CE. We learn about the Stone Age period of Indian history through archaeological excavation. Since scripts had not developed at that time, no written sources are available. However, information about the ancient period from 1500 BCE onwards can be derived from Vedic literature. In the beginning, the Vedas were not in the written form. The ancient Indians had developed the technique of memorizing and reciting them. The Vedas were written down later on. The Vedas and the post-Vedic literature form an important source of ancient Indian history. It includes the Brahmanas, the Upanishads, the epics Ramayana and Mahabharata, the Jain and Buddhist literature, plays, poems, stone and pillar inscription, travelogues of foreign travelers, etc. We also learn about ancient Indian history through material sources like archaeological remains, ancient monuments, and coins found in excavation. Precautions to be taken while writing history. It is necessary to take precautions while using these sources to write history. A written document cannot be said to be authentic just because it is old. It needs to be examined critically as to who wrote it, why and when it was written. The conclusions drawn on the basis of various genuine documents have to be cross-checked and corroborated with one another. Such a critical analysis is very important in the writing of history. What would you do? You have found an old coin. Keep it to yourself, give it to your parents, or give it to your museum. Thank you. I hope that you all have understood the lesson.